Last week, after I posted about bumping into my students over Sukkot and reminiscing with them, and then realizing how much I learned from my students and seeing the Mishnah in Pirkei Avot come to life, which teaches us that teachers learn the most from their students, I was asked, well, what kind of things have you learned from your students? So I want to just talk about one specific thing, which is learning from my students how people learn differently. That's the number one thing over the years, if I could sum it up in one sentence, that I've learned, which is our brains are fascinating and God has created everyone in such a unique way. And I feel very humbled when I witness students go from, in particular, the groupings of students I met over the holiday, were not able to really learn much in a lot of other classes. And then by switching up the technique of how I taught them, which was to incorporate more of the arts and creativity into the classroom, I suddenly saw these students who were otherwise so completely disconnected, completely change and be able to really express themselves so deeply and profoundly through the arts, sometimes through music, sometimes through photography, sometimes through drawing. And they just came to life. And I remember a colleague of mine walked into my classroom. I invited her to come in. I said, just watch these students as they were working on this huge graffiti mural. They were making graffiti art. And she was just amazed by how engaged they were and how profound their ideas were. And if I can just reiterate this, if you are struggling with a child or a student and you're like, I just don't get it, they're not understanding, they're not able to connect to material, then it's incumbent on us as the parents and educators to figure out their access point. What makes them tick? Because in my experience, I have never met a dumb child. I have only met teachers who aren't able to reach those children. And we have to adapt ourselves to understand, how can I reach this child? What is missing? And then sit back and learn from them about how their brain works, and then try as much as possible to design curriculum and lessons in a way that will appeal to their style of learning. Have a great day.